All right. Welcome to Travel Tuesday. So if you don't like traveling, this is going to be a really terrible next 55 minutes. But if you do love to travel, then you are absolutely in the right place. So first and foremost, let me introduce myself. So hi, I'm KickAss Kylie. I'm the crazy fun mom from the Whitsundays. And I'm here with one of the favorite humans in my life, Kath Barker. And between the two of us, we've traveled a lot. And but what we really love is to help and inspire others to check off their bucket list VIP style. So I know most of you are familiar faces, but it's also great to see lots of new faces as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a bit of fun tonight. Is that okay? Who wants to have some fun? We all good for that? Yes. Excellent. And we have Fun K in the house. So, you know, we can't get Kerry to lead a Zumba for us online, but if you come to the next dream trip, she absolutely will. And then we do flash mobs at dinners and things like that from our Zumba sessions, which is hilarious. That's just how us crazy Aussies roll. So what I would love you to do, whether you're on, I actually don't know how to do it on a phone, I apologize, but for those of you on a computer, if you click down the bottom to participants, and you'll see on the right-hand side, it shows all the participants there. So I want you to find your name. And if you can't do that, because I know, like, for example, there's two Andreas. So if you're not sure which one you are, you can go to your video. And if you hover the mouse over, you can see that there's three little dots. So if you click the three little dots, and I want you to click rename. And I would like you to put your name and where is your next holiday destination, or what's the next holiday destination you'd like to check off your bucket list. So we're going to go KickAss, Kylie and Kath, and our next trip is Punta Cana. So we're a little bit excited about that. So we've got Andrea's coming to the Whitsundays next. That's very exciting. Woo-hoo. Chris, we know, is just working out how to rename, so we can actually figure it out. Alison's also coming to Punta Cana. Yay! Fun K is off to Dubai. That's a little bit exciting. Chris, I'm proud of you. So you're officially coming to Punta Cana now because Zoom says so. And who else have we got? Oh, Sarah's going to Portugal. Oh my goodness, wow. That's super exciting. I love it. Sue Cooper is also coming up to the Whitsundays. So yay, that is amazing. And it's okay if you don't have something on there. I'm sure by the end of the night, you absolutely will. Now, let me just, we were so prepared. I was gobbling down my amazing butter chicken just before I jumped on. I do have an agenda. Look, here it is. I was half organized. Okay, so the first thing that we wanted to do is welcome all of our new people who this is your first Travel Tuesday. So if it's your first Travel Tuesday, yay, welcome. As you can see, we're a bit crazy. We love to have fun, but most importantly, we love to travel. And so what we're going to do is actually map out the next 18 months worth of trips that us as a community have chosen that we're going on. Now, you're not limited to those. There are literally trips every week, every country, all over the world, and you can create your own as well. And we also have our amazing travel influencer, our TikTok legend, the Aussie travel gal, Tracy Williams, who's going to talk to you about an amazing cruise just before our New Year's Eve trip as well. So first and foremost, I just wanted to run through these trips that we've got coming up. So there's a bunch of us who are heading off to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. Now, this is a really exciting trip because it's our trip one. Now, what on earth does trip one mean? So as part of our Dream Trips Rewards program, every time you go on dream trips, you actually start clocking up 1 to 100 inside of our rewards program. So once you've done 5 dream trips with our company, what do we get? Sorry. She wasn't paying attention. Oh dear. I just totally put it on. I know you did. Sorry. Free cruise. Sorry. Is that where we're at? Sorry, a free cruise. My son's trying to join the call. He's like, Mum, I can't get on. So I'm trying to send him out. Oh my goodness.
Sorry. what? We get a free cruise.
We get a free cruise after we've been on 5 dream trips, which is really exciting.
Very cool.
And so what the company is doing is the company is basically putting together a roadmap of 1 to 100 trips. So yes, Jacob is actually on a cruise literally at the moment. So he was here with us yesterday in Airlie Beach, and tonight we know that you are up in Cairns, which is absolutely amazing. So what I'm going to do actually is just super quickly open up our rewards program. Whoops, let me see if I can share my screen, because this is really exciting. This rewards program is like really just, it blows my mind, and it's better than anything that I've ever seen on the planet. Play from current slide. Okay, so our roadmap to 100 trips. So once you've been on 5 dream trips, you earn a free cruise. Once you've been on 10 dream trips, you earn $1,000 US that you can then put towards another dream trip. Once you've been on 15 dream trips, you've got $2,500 US that you can then put, we call them dream dollars, to put towards a dream trip. And that could be just for you, could be you and your favorite +1, it could be you and your family. You could take a bunch of your buddies, 5 of you on a $500 dream trip. You can put that however you like. You can also save this up and put it all towards one trip. This is my favorite one, and it just so happens that I've got Kath and Kerry on with me. My 50th is coming up year after next, and I love the movie Mamma Mia. And Kerry and I got back from Santorini in October last year, and oh my goodness, I just fell in love with the Greek islands. So once you take 20 dream trips, you earn $5,000 that they'll put together a dream trip for your birthday, a dream birthday experience. So for me, I'm going to be saving my 1,000, 2.5. I'm going to put it with my 5 to give me $8,500 US to put towards a yacht party in the Greek islands, followed by the Mamma Mia experience on the island where they filmed Mamma Mia, which is pretty cool. And then once you have taken 100 trips, now on average, we have a whole bunch of people within our club who take 10 trips a year. Now, good friends of ours, Lee and Steve, who were also just here with us a few days ago, they're based in New Zealand. They got engaged on a dream trip in Europe, and they did 5 trips back to back over a 5-week period. So you can do back-to-back trips, or you can do one a year. It's totally flexible. It's totally up to you. But once you've taken 100 dream trips, you earn $50,000 for a custom dream trip of a lifetime. So tonight, we want to invite you to start dreaming again, to get excited and think, what's on your bucket list? If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you love to go? So I want you to hold that thought for just a moment, and I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. Oh, it was there. Okay. So the next thing that I would love to do is I'm actually going to just talk through a few of the dream trips that we've got coming up for you. Obviously, we have Punta Cana next month, and that closes on the 7th, on Friday. So there are 6 of us crazy Aussies going across so far. But if you do want to join us, you're welcome to. The pricing on that trip is insane. It's $639 US per person, and that's an all-inclusive trip. We will be going over for a day extra in the beginning and a day extra at the end. So you can, with all the dream trips, add pre and post nights. And we've got some tours included in that trip as well, which we are really excited about.
Can't wait.
So yeah, so super stoked about that. But we also know that that's super close because that's 9th to the 13th of August. But we are booking it tonight after this call. So we've actually got our VIP Dream Trip concierge who is getting up at 5 a.m. for our call on the 4th of July to help us Aussies out. So how amazing is that for VIP customer service? It's pretty amazing. Yeah. So the next one that Kath and I are particularly excited about, who has been to the Whitsundays? Who would love to come to the Whitsundays? Oh my goodness, everyone's hand should be up. Chris is like, ah! This trip is going to be one, I think, of the best trips ever because Kath and I are hosting it. That's why.
It'll be incredible.
No, it's incredible because of the destination.
Time.
It's going to be brilliant. There we go. So we are actually staying at the Mantra Club Crocodile Resort. So we've chosen this resort for a few reasons. It's a little bit more cost effective, especially for families. This is a family-friendly trip. It's a 5-day, 4-night, but you can extend it out. And I highly recommend, if you can, to book an extra couple of nights either before or after or both, because there is so much to do and see and experience here in the Whitsundays. So this is our home. And we absolutely are so excited to welcome you all to the winner of the #1 tourism town in Queensland. And let's take you through what's included. So you've got airport transfers included. So you're going to fly into Proserpine to the Whitsunday Airport. And that's about a 25-minute transfer from the airport here into Airlie Beach, or this resort is actually at Cannon Vale. Kath actually backs onto this resort, so if you throw stones across the fence, you'll get Kath.
My house.
And I live 300 meters up the road, so we've made sure that we've got you in a really great location, and you can walk straight across the road to Whisper Bay, which is one of my favorite spots. There's a boat ramp there, and that's where I launch my jet ski. So if anyone is going to drive up for this trip, bring your boat, bring your jet ski. There is heaps of parking at this resort. So if you are going to drive up, definitely bring the toys, because you are across the road from the boat ramp. But what's most special about Whisper Bay is that's where we see lots and lots of turtles. Oh my goodness, so many turtles. We actually call it Turtle Bay sometimes. But what did we see this week?
I was just going to say, we saw a dugong. We actually thought it was a crocodile to start with, which was a little scary. And then
there are crocodiles too.
No, it's actually a dugong. So that was incredible.
It was about a 6-foot dugong. It was massive.
And it just kept going up and then going back down again. It was amazing. So really
incredible.
Special to be able to see that.
And that's literally across the road from where you are staying, which is pretty cool. And there's a beautiful boardwalk that you can walk right into town, which is a lovely walk. Kath and I do that most weeks, most days, which is special. So every dream trip starts off with a welcome cocktail, our signature dreamsicle, which we love. Now, this trip also comes with a full day tour with ocean rafting to Whitehaven Beach. Now, this is our #1 favorite tour in the Whitsundays. I think I've done this 3 or 4 times now, and I can't wait to do it again, dream trip style. So it includes a beautiful lunch, 2 snorkeling spots. You've got your very own eco host. And we're actually going to then go to Whitehaven Beach. We're going to go up to the lookout and look over Hill Inlet, and fingers crossed, if the weather is amazing, we'll actually be able to have lunch at Champagne Bay. And what is so special about Champagne Bay within Whitehaven Beach is when you walk on the sand, where like you're up to like halfway to your knees in the water, all these bubbles come up your legs and it's like champagne. It's really, really, really cool. So that's going to be really special. And of course, we have our farewell dinner and drinks. And if Kerry is there, there will be lots of Zumba dancing.
Maybe a flash mob or 2.
Maybe a flash mob. You get Kerry and I, Kath and I, as your hosts. To make sure that you're looked after and treated like a VIP and have the absolute best experience. And we will make sure that we can check off everything on your bucket list, whether that be swim with turtles or whatever it is, and make sure anything that you need to know about the Whitsundays, I think we've got it covered.
I reckon we do.
Which is pretty exciting. So the next trip that we have coming up, this is going to be, let me just go back this one more time. So this is from the 5th to the 9th of October. So those dates are locked in, and we are hoping to have this finalized with the final price and booking link within the next few days. We're hoping to have it done by tonight, but we're really pushing and it hasn't quite happened, but it will be super, super soon. This one, New Year's Eve. This is going to be a really high-end, iconic, once-in-a-lifetime New Year's Eve. It's not cheap, and that's why we're called dream trips, not crap trips, not cheap trips. We are not sparing any expense on this trip. So it is going to be a 4-day, 3-night trip So you've got your 30th of December through to the 2nd of January. So again, on arrival, we'll have our welcome cocktail, our dreamsicle. Now, here's the two really big tours on this trip. So the first one, it's a Sydney Harbour cruise, includes dinner, drinks, both fireworks shows inside that exclusive, the exclusion zone. So this is like next level VIP. It's going to be absolutely insane. If you try to book that, it's $1,500 just for that one tour. Now, that's going to help us complete 2023 with a bang. But we are really excited to start the new year on top of the world, and we will be one of the first people on the Sydney Harbour Bridge for a sunset bridge climb on New Year's Day to start 2024, literally on top of the world. We have a full photo package included as well, and of course there'll be a host with that trip as well. So now when that one comes up, for us to even just book it, we've had to pay in full for this trip. So it's I think we've only got about 28 spots for this New Year's Eve trip. So if this is something that you want to go on, get ready, because you want to be able to get ready and book that straight away. The Whitsundays one is going to have a lot more rooms. So I think we've got about 50 or 60 spots to start with, but we've got the, the option to expand that out to about 100. So we're really excited about having a really big group to the Whitsundays. And I promise you, that is going to be an amazing trip and a great trip to invite friends and family to come along and experience the Whitsundays dream trip style, which I promise you is going to be absolutely incredible. So both of those trips will be amazing. Now I do want to, and we'll have questions at the end, guys, as well. So what have we got next? So Bali. So we kind of have a bit of a competition over this.
Just a little bit.
Who is the resident expert for Bali? Because I've been to Bali 9 times, but of course, Kath just got back from her 10th trip to Bali. So of course, Kath now gets to have the banner. I'll hand it over.
Thank you.
The resident Bali expert. So I love Bali. For me, it's just such a beautiful place. And there's something really transformative about Bali and the energy I find as soon as you touch down. Like, I just feel this real sense of peace. The energy is just so beautiful. But I'd love for you to share, like, what do you love about Bali, and what would you say are the top things that people need to know about Bali? Oh my goodness, we have a list. Everybody hold on to your seats.
And what I'll do, everyone can have a copy of this. This is just my little, I've sent that to countless people over the years. You know, I have been to Bali once or 9 times, 10 times, 10 times. I think I've just booked my 11th trip.
I know.
Anyway,
I've got to catch up now.
Well, that'll be for your birthday anyway. But I think, as Kylie said, it's really about that feeling when you get off the plane. It almost feels like home. It is. There's the people there. It's like having a dream trip in a country. In a country that's so friendly. It is incredible. So, you know, I don't know how many people have actually been to Bali. Can you? Quite a few of you. Yeah. Anyone want to go to Bali?
Yeah. Bali? There's quite a few. No, well, there you go. We've got a few Bali virgins. Okay. That's exciting.
All right. Get to Bali, people.
After Whitsundays.
Yeah, after the Whitsundays. But look, for me, there's a few little bits and pieces. I suppose it is a slightly different country to Australia. So if you haven't traveled to Southeast Asia, it is different. You know, you can't drink the water there. You have to use your hand sanitizer. It's a little bit like COVID all over again.
Yeah, that was just preparation for your trip to Bali.
Exactly. But you know what? I've found that the people there are so kind and welcoming. Most people speak English there. Obviously, if you're out in the country, possibly not. But I've always found that learning a few of those words in their language is a really great help. I try to do that wherever I go anyway, but you know, learning some Indonesian words is really helpful. The little things like when you get to the airport, if you haven't got a driver booked, which we can also help with if you
and we'll have transfers.
That's right.
Anyway,
exactly. But if you do decide to get a taxi in Bali, make sure that you ask them to put their meter on, because they will rip you off. In the nicest possible way.
Another advantage of dream trips, you don't have to worry about that.
Exactly. But I have a list of my favorite places to eat in Bali, all the day clubs and wonderful beaches and resorts to go to. Even going to the markets in Ubud. We went to this last trip, we went to a place called Kretia, which was a day club in Ubud. Unbelievable. In through the rice terraces, you can do the flying dress photo shoot there. So you're up in a swing over the rice terraces. Unbelievable. So it is magnificent. What else was I going to say? Oh, look, you've got all the standard ATV tours and bits and pieces. If anyone does go to Bali and wants to hire a scooter,
there's always a story.
Oh no, this is actually a good story. So my recommendation is that you get yourself an international driver's license. First of all, you really shouldn't be hiring a scooter unless you actually have a motorbike license, because you may not be insured. So that is another thing. Check with your travel insurance to see if you're going to be insured.
It's so cheap to have a driver. You may as well just sit back VIP style and have your driver take care of you anyway.
But you know my husband, there's no way he's going to sit in the car with a driver.
Oh my goodness.
Crazy.
1K shared my favorite part of Bali. Well, there's lots of favorite, but I love the $5 massages. Like every day you can go down. You were just like,
I know.
$5 you can have a massage, a pedicure, a facial, you name it.
That's
right.
You
could just go every day and get a treatment. Or stay all day.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the beautiful things, and I always give everyone a tip when I do that, because they only get paid so minimally, so it's really nice just to leave them a few dollars tip.
The average Balinese earns about $120 a month, so they just love tips. They love US dollars, they love cash. So just a little bit can just go such a long way, and then they will do anything for you. Like they just have hearts to serve, don't they?
Absolutely. And look, the traffic is crazy in Bali.
Very crazy.
Like absolutely insane. But once you get your head around how it all goes, it's actually, there's a method to their madness. So
they just beep and go.
And the beeping is just like, oh, we're here, hello. So it's not the get out of my way. No, it's
a friendly beep.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. But it is chaos, but it works.
Oh, that's right. And another favorite thing of mine is sitting at one of the beach bars, many beach bars, and having a beer for $2 or $3.
Bintang, everything's
watching
cheap.
the sunset.
Nasi goreng,
my favorite.
You get the biggest plate of nasi goreng for like
$2.
Yeah, $2, $3.
Yep, that's right.
Amazing. Yeah.
But sitting there on the beach watching the sunset, which is pretty spectacular. We don't get a lot of that here on the East Coast, so it's nice to, apart from when you're on Gari.
Yes, yes, it's super special.
So watching the sun go down, and the ladies there trying to sell you things, and massages, and getting your hair braided, all the stupid things that you do.
And I think the other thing when you're in Bali, guys, like you can feel like you're a millionaire because it's just everything is so cheap. So it's a beautiful place for us Aussies to go travel, because everything is normally so expensive. So it's one of the few places that we can go, and it's actually
it's a quick flight, 6
hours,
5.5, 6 hours from Brisbane. So it's a nice quick flight. We're not traveling 40 hours to get somewhere. So.
Like to Punta Cana. All right. Any last words? Because I'm just looking at the time. We've got a lot to get through.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Because I could keep talking all night, as you know. So I think the other thing is that if you're looking for that spiritual relaxation, not that party vibe or, fun vibe, you can really find that in Bali too. So if anyone wants any further information, please reach out to me. I'm happy to email my little bit of information here.
Bali guide.
Yeah, that's it. So just some tips and tricks, that's all. So
amazing. Thank you, beautiful.
No worries.
So the next one, we're just going to do a quick mention, and then I'm going to throw to our resident Crocodile Dundee next. Just a heads up there. I wonder who that could be. That's going to be entertaining, I know. But one of my dreams has been to swim with whale sharks. So I'm a Pisces. I'm sure I was a mermaid in my former life. And oh my goodness, I found out, I think it was late last year, about a place in Western Australia called Ningaloo where you can swim with whale sharks. So we were going to do that this year, but we ended up doing Fraser Island instead, or Gari. So next year in July, we are putting together a trip to swim with whale sharks. So again, that's going to be family friendly. We know Kerry is from WA, so we'll be tapping into Kerry's expertise. And that's one of the really great benefits about being part of Dream Trips, is we actually make sure that we put trips together by locals or people who know they've been there. So Chris and I worked really hard together on the Gari Dream Trip because we'd both been there half a dozen times before. And that's what was able to make it so great, because we know the things to do and the things not to do. And so we're really excited to put that trip together, which will be July next year. And then in September, it could be September or October. We obviously have to finalize the dates. But Chris Cummins, one of my absolute best mates in the world, he is one of the most fun people to travel with. Like, he is just crazy fun. He has a beautiful heart. He makes sure everyone is loved and included and cared for. But Chris used to run a tour company in the Northern Territory. So we are so freaking excited that Chris is going to be putting together a dream trip to the Northern Territory in September, October next year. So Chris, over to you to give us a few highlights of what that's going to look like.
Thanks, Kylie. And I've got to say, you two girls, dry July is doing a lot for you guys. You look absolutely healthy as. Very stunning sitting there. That's the best as I both looked in years. No,
oh, it's not that for me. It's only day 4 for me. Anyway.
Okay, a couple of quick things I'm working on at the moment. I've got a couple of options, and what I'm trying to do is work out what's going to be best for everybody. The first option is that we have 4-wheel drives and we make it an adult one, because a bit hard taking all the kids with the 4-wheel drive and the camping style. Or I hire a bus and I'll drive us all through the first part of it, get us down to Alice Spring after doing Catherine Gorge, and then jump a tour down there to do Ayers Rock and head out. And that's done more like almost like a bus tour, or we do it in the camper vans. I'm struggling at the moment to get like 10 or 15 together at the same time, because if we're going to do it with the camper vans, the 4-wheel drive camper vans, I was going to take out the back of Lynchfield Park and some of the places in Kakadu that are really hard to get to that most people miss. Or we do it kind of like a tour where we can all have a little bit more flexibility, have one drive, the rest drink, and we can just have a really good time and visit all the highlights. There's probably, like in Lynchfield Park alone, there's 56 waterfalls that you've got to go and visit. So it's a lot of tropical freshwater waterfalls. It's to die for. You can spend a nice good day in there. There's a place called Manaranka Springs that we'd visit on the way through as well, which is just like a little bit like Eli Creek, a little bit like the what was the name of the lagoon we're at?
Lake Mackenzie.
Lake Mackenzie, where the water's so crystal clear you can see the bottom. The difference there is it's just a absolutely stunning temperature. So it doesn't matter day, night, or whatever. You just hop in there. It's so beautiful. And then we've got Kakadu on the other side of the highway. Then we can go down. We got Catherine Gorge, and then down into Alice Springs, see Ayers Rock, jump a plane in Alice Springs and back out. So the only thing that's going to really hold us up is, one, do we try and keep to a budget so it's not too expensive, because there's quite a lot of activities, and it may work out that we may have to just do the top end and then do the Ayers Rock and Catherine Gorge on a separate tour. So we just got to work out where we're going to go on that. That's going to be the dates. Kylie was going through the dates because in the territory we've got a dry and a wet, so it's best to go at the dry. Everywhere else in the country will be quite cool. Up there it'll be like 26, 28 degrees during the day. Down in Alice Springs it's like 2 degrees at night, but during the day it's absolutely gorgeous. So they're the two options that I'm working on at the moment. When I was in Fraser, I call it Fraser. When I was in Fraser, I noticed there's a couple of major big tour companies going out of there with 4-wheel drives. So we passed a stack of 4-wheel drives going along the beach, and there was up to like 10 or 15 four-wheel drives in one sort of booking. So if we can organise something similar to that out of Darwin, I'll do it all with four-wheel drives. Otherwise, we might pick up a tour into Kakadu, so that way you can get to some of the four-wheel drive parts we can't get to, and the rest we'll do with a tour bus, and I'll take you to Manarakan Springs and to Lynchville Park. And then we might do the Alice or the Rock on a separate one. Or we might extend it and have a second one, so those that want to do the both can do both. Those just want to do the one can do the one, or those that want to just do the bottom end one and not the top end one. So, and then that way you have the both the options. It's a little bit like going overseas in a way, because it's such a long way over to Darwin. No, it's just a long drive, so you want to make a good couple of days out of it rather than shoot over there, do 2 or 3 things and shoot back. So I'll have that. We'll get some stuff together in the next couple of weeks, and then I might just send it out there as the consensus of 1, do you want to drive a four-wheel drive and do the camping style? 2, do you want to do it in a tour bus type situation where I can show you everything and take you everywhere we want to go, and we can go at our own leisure rather than on a tour bus it's rush, 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 rush. We can pick out the highlights and take our time, and we may even do some of them over 2 days instead of 1, and then pick up some nice resorts and stay at some of those. So I just sort of got to get the consensus from everybody and what people we got traveling with us. If we go with the bus tour type one, we could probably include it as a children friendly one, and then that way we can take the kids, because there's a lot of swimming and it's the bomb.
Amazing. So as you can see, like, it's about creating dream experiences that you can't put together yourself. And yes, we have DreamTrips as a company that are putting these together. But once you actually create your own travel community within DreamTrips, you actually have the opportunity that you can start building trips with your members. So that's essentially what we're doing. So the dream trips through the portal are amazing. There's trips all over. But because, I guess our region, Oceania, we don't have as many people as in some of the other areas of the world, which is why we're kind of, I guess, taking the lead and stepping up as leaders to actually be able to create those trips for our members.
Yeah, and on that same token, once we get a few of these Americans down here and do a couple of our Australian tours, I know we'll have a following. We'll have a cult. So every time we throw something on in Australia, they're going to jump a flight down to come onto ours as well. So it's just really getting that momentum going, getting our little team going, and then those people add to the team. Because I know Mark hasn't shut up since he went back about how good Fraser Island was. So I know that'll dribble on, and there's got to be a lot of people in the States and some other countries too that are just keen to come over and see what Australia's all about. So we might end up booking it for 30 of us and end up with another 10 from the States. You just don't know.
Absolutely. And they're already excited about coming back and redoing Fraser or Gari as well. So that's going to be exciting as well. So the next trip. So I was actually literally just having a conversation with Chris on Saturday morning and saying, well, look, my daughter Leo is 17 next year. And so it's going to be our last family Christmas with her before she, is an adult and leaves home. And it's been one of my dreams to be able to take my kids to Whistler for a white Christmas. And so I was sharing that with Chris. He's like, well, I'm coming. So I'm like, okay, great. I said, well, maybe we'd have some of our other members that would love to come as well. So we shared it on we have a team call on Saturday morning for ambassadors, which are people who choose to come on board as an ambassador to share this concept with others. And on that call, every single person went, oh my gosh, I'm in. And we're like, what? We just got 10 people. And then by the end of the day, we had another 10 who'd watched the replay or heard through another person that we were planning Whistler. And all of a sudden we had 20 people. And I think now we're up to about 30.
No one wants to miss out, right?
I know. With an 18-month booking window, it's so cool. So I messaged Mark and Tammy Smith, our owners, today. And I said, there's about 30 of us that from Australia that want to do a white Christmas in Whistler for 2024. And they're like, what? Like, what are you doing down there? Like, you guys are amazing. So we are really excited about putting that trip together. Chris will also be working, he and I'll be working closely together to have an Aussie add-on component to that dream trip as well. So yeah, it's going to be really cool. So you've got 18 months. Now, of course, again, that's not going to be a cheap trip, but it is absolutely going to be a dream to be able to give our kids, you know, an incredible experience with a white Christmas. And if you don't have kids, that's okay. You're still more than welcome to join us. You can, yeah, big kids, exactly. And you can come and, you know, hang with us and our kids anyway. So that's going to be super cool. But what I wanted to do next is actually share with you the formula. So we're not just kind of plucking these trips out of, you know, thin air. There's actually a formula to put them together. So if you've got something on your bucket list, I want to teach you this formula so that you can actually put it to one of our leaders. So Kat, Kerry, Chris, Jeff, and myself, so that we can then look at, well, you know, if it works with the formula and we've got enough numbers, then we can actually put that trip together for you. We need a minimum of 20 people for a trip to be able to be put together to kind of make it cost effective for the company. So let me just quickly share my screen again, and I'll just quickly talk you through this, because I think it's really important to understand, because a lot of people look at, you know, what we do and they go, oh, where am I? Here, slideshow. How can you create the trips that you do? So here we go. So the first thing, if you're wanting to request a trip, is you have to tell us, of course, where it is. So for example, let's just take Ningaloo. So most people have never even heard of Ningaloo in Western Australia. And it's about the same north-south position as the Whitsundays, but on the western coast of Australia. So again, it's in the tropics. The temperature is absolutely beautiful. And the reason is to swim with whale sharks. Now, the duration, we're probably, given that it's the other side of the country, the other side of the world, no, that's Punta Cana. Yeah. The other side of the country, you know, it's a decent flight for us to get there. So it's probably going to be 5 or 6 hours. So we're probably going to want a minimum 5-day, 4-night trip to go over there. And there's plenty of other things that we can see in Western Australia. There's a possible add-on trip that we could do to Perth, or some of the other beautiful places to visit on the West Coast. So duration, we've got 4 nights, 5 days, or potentially even a little bit longer. The time frame. So time frame is when in the year do you want to do this trip? So obviously to swim with whale sharks is a season, and we know that July is going to be the best time of year to do that. So we want that to be in July. And for budget, so we want this to be a family-friendly trip. So ideally, we want this to be under $1,000 per head, or ideally, if we could get it to kind of that, you know, 600-700-ish, that would be ideal. So that's basically what we need from people. Then we'll basically get our travel team to start looking at, you know, some different options and tours and what that would look like. There might be some other tours that you want to have included. So you want to let us know what they are, or, you know, if you've been there before, or you know someone who has, what's your absolute favorite restaurant there? What was the best hotel, or, you know, what hotel would you stay in, why? So the more information that you can give us, then that gives us more information that we can then feed back to our Dream Trips coordinators to be able to put these type of trips together. Then we basically do exactly like what we're doing on our Saturday morning and our Travel Tuesday calls, where we promote these trips within our team just to kind of see what sort of interest. We have never had the kind of interest that we had for Whistler. Like, I've still got people messaging me like 5 times a day. How can we get in? What's the price? I'm like, my goodness, I literally just put it out there as you know, to see if we got some interest, and we've been blown away. Whitsundays is the same. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So I just thought that I would share that little formula with you. So if there is a trip that's on your bucket list that you'd love us to put together for you, that's the information that we need. And the other side of it is, it might not happen straight away, but it might happen, like, you know, in a year from now or something like that, because we already have quite a few trips that are, you know, being put together as well. So what I want you to do for a moment is I want you to just think, if you could travel anywhere in the world and time and money weren't an issue, where would you want to go? So what are some of the top destinations on your bucket list? So please pop them in the chat. So for me, and I can never spell this, but I would love to go to Machu Picchu. How do you spell that? M-A-C-C-U?
Yeah.
P-I-C-H-U, is that right? Machu Picchu?
Yeah.
You guys know what that is. I'd like to go to Dubai because you've told me all about Dubai.
Dubai's amazing.
And how amazing that is.
I want to go and see the Northern Lights.
Yes, I want to go to see the Northern Lights too. That would be amazing. All right, what else? Oh, Italy. I actually want to do the Amalfi Coast in a supercar. Ideally an Aston Martin, because that's my dream car. That would be pretty cool. We do actually have a supercar trip in Denver, Colorado, where you can basically drive your favorite supercars. They've got Porsches, they've got Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Aston Martins, McLarens. Oh my goodness, there's just so many. So that would be cool. Oh my goodness, Diane, that Santorini trip, that was my #1 bucket list destination, and it was so amazing. Greek Islands, that yacht tour, of course.
Oh yeah.
Greek Islands yacht tour.
Highly recommend the Greek Islands.
Oh, Maldives, Sukuba.
Oh,
Yes, absolutely. That would be, well, so Whitsundays is the #2 tourist destination in the whole world, and #1 is supposed to be the Maldives. So it must be pretty amazing if it's better than just saying. What other destinations? I love reading other people's, because then that kind of gives us ideas too. I tell you, another place that I've been looking at people online is Croatia. Looks absolutely incredible. So can't wait to go there as well. Oh my goodness. So this is why we need to be part of Dream Trip, so we can just go everywhere. Oh yeah, I haven't been in the Philippines either.
I want to go to the islands. There's a lot of islands.
I can't spell, guys, so just excuse the way that I spell, because I'm really, really bad. Albania is better than Croatia. Well, how about we go both? Yeah, and then we'll compare. I love that, Sarah. Oh, Boracay. I know, actually. So I want to go kite surfing in Boracay, because apparently that's the best kite surfing in the world. So I think that would be pretty cool. And I love wakeboarding. So I want to go wakeboarding in Florida. Oh, yes. And remember too, there's events. So we can also put together dream trips for events. So whilst we didn't actually go to the State of Origin, on our Gari dream trip, it was night 2 for State of Origin. And who won? Queensland! Sorry, Kerry. It was hilarious. So Candice has put skiing and sailing. Ooh. So I want to go snowboarding, because I just love wakeboarding. So I figure, how hard can it be? Snow versus water. It's got to be similar, right? Probably nothing. Chris is like, oh my gosh, you've got no idea, Coles. So we'll definitely have a ski trip, maybe to New Zealand, before we go to Whistler, so then it's not our first time and we don't look like idiots in front of all the US crew. And we want to do a jet ski dream trip to Alaska. Oh my goodness. So we met this guy, as you do, out at Whitehaven Beach, and he is one of the jet ski tour guides for these dangerous tours into Alaska. And that just looked amazing.
I'm watching his Facebook stories at the moment, where there's seals and what whales, just next level stuff. Amazing.
And I also got a message from Leo, my daughter, I had to share tonight. Leo's #1 bucket list destination right now is Korea. So apparently we're putting together a trip to Korea as well.
I want to go and see the gorillas in Uganda. Has anyone done that?
Oh my goodness. And you could put a Borneo trip together to the orangutans.
Actually, I would be the guide for that.
I know. So as you can see, guys, like, we can put trips together anywhere if we've got enough people. So before we kind of go into the next part, I do want to hand over to our beautiful Aussie travel gal, If you're not following her on TikTok, make sure that you do.
Mhm.
And Tracy is our cruise queen. And of course, we have that amazing dream trip. I'm just going to mute everybody because there was some noise in the background. We have that amazing dream trip coming up to Sydney for New Year's Eve. And Trace has jumped into our online travel portal and found a cruise that's a 3-night cruise. I call it a cruise to nowhere, a 3-night cruise that's just before that dream trip. So Trace, I'll just make you co-host, babe, and I'll hand over to you.
Fabulous. Thanks, Kylie. Kath, I had to laugh when you were talking about Bali and you said, you could just keep talking and talking and talking about it because you're so passionate about Bali. And I'm thinking that's exactly how I am with cruising. If anyone asks me about cruising, I just keep talking. They need to tell me to shut up.
All right, you got 2 minutes, girl.
Okay, right. So very quickly, I'm going to screen share as soon as I can find. Here we go. So I'm going into the cruise portal. Got it up already. So basically what I've done is just had a look to see what there is basically to tack on before the New Year's Eve in Sydney. For me, obviously, I love cruising. So it was what sort of cruise between Christmas and New Year I could jump into. So I'm just going to show you one that I have found if anyone is interested. Oops.
See you, Jimmy. I love it.
Okay, so December. So this cruise departs on the 26th for 3 nights, and it is literally to nowhere. So basically it just goes out to sea, does a big circle, and then for 3 nights and then comes back. I'm just going to move this.
So Trace, you know how you sing I'm on the road to nowhere? So I think on that cruise we have to sing I'm on a cruise to nowhere.
Oh, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, did I do it right? There we go. Carnival. Now this is on Carnival Splendor. So here we go. Let's get rid of this box here. Okay, so this one here, 3 nights on a Carnival Splendor. It departs Sydney on December the 26th, and it does get back into Sydney on December 29th. So the dream trips for the New Year's Eve in Sydney does start on the 30th, but you can, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kylie, you can extend the stay at the hotel prior to the dream trips.
The other thing is too, that particular trip is where the Sydney to Hobart takes off as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
And
that's part of that coming out of Sydney Harbour. So part of that tour, that cruise is that you pick up all the big boats hooking out as they head down the coast to do the Sydney to Hobart. So that does make it a bit more of an eventful thing to go with the New Year's Eve thing. Sorry about that.
We're already going like, let's book it. We're going.
We're gone.
No, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm just typing in some information in here into this screen. Now, just before I move on to the next screen to show you the actual total pricing of this, the one thing, so with this cruise, it is a 3-nighter. It is a 3-night. Depending on what you want, I would go an internal cabin. And the only reason why I go an internal cabin is because I'm not going to be on a 3-nighter. I'm not going to be in the cabin apart from sleeping. That's it. So I would go internal cabin. And as being part of the dream trips, one thing that you will receive, if you don't know already, is you can use your loyalty points to redeem onboard credit for any cruise that you're booking in this portal. Now, it depends on the price, the base price of the cruise. And I'm just going to quickly bring up a table for you. So if I was to go with an inside cabin, for instance, $332 per person, 2 people, that would be just $664. So I would receive I could use $50, 50 of my loyalty points to receive $50 redemption for onboard credit. And at the end of this, I'll tell you exactly how that's done and what the process is. So it's going to go into and continue through to where all the information comes up and what the total is. Actually, it'll show me the cabins. So I'm going to pick a cabin. Now this one is just a bunk bed cabin. So I'm going to go with the next one, which you can use as a double bed or a 2 singles. This is where you can go in and pick a cabin of your choice. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys, it's doing something ridiculous there.
Something funky.
Yes.
Always the way when you want to do it.
It's on a live call.
Yeah, that's
No,
right.
it's not going to work for me. Okay, we won't go through to the next screen, but what I will tell you is you'll see here, this is the total price for the actual cost of the cruise and the total cost of the taxes on top of that. So that will be the total amount for that particular cruise. So this is US. So that's just a little over $1,000 Australian for 3 nights on Carnival for 2 people. In Carnival site itself, it's about on par. There is only a few dollars difference, not much. However, if you do book this in the portal, you can spend 50 of your loyalty points to receive $50 on board credits.
And remember too, guys, when you book a cruise through our portal as a Dream Tripper, you get 25% of that booking value back as more loyalty points as well. So
that's correct.
Yeah. So on that one, we're looking at what's 25% of 678. You do the math on that.
Yeah. So I'll quickly just go through exactly what the process is for redeeming your loyalty points, because there have been a lot of questions in relation to this. Using your loyalty points to get onboard credit. So when you book your cruise, goes through, you make the payment, you receive your confirmation email, and in that confirmation email will have instructions on if you want to redeem your loyalty points to transfer to onboard credit. There is a number that you can call. You call that number. They will, you talk to them about the cruise that you've just booked. They'll obviously go into the portal, they'll see that, and they'll see how much loyalty points you have and how many loyalty points you can use to redeem for, depending on the price of the cruise. They will then transfer that for you. And then when you have, when that's completed and you go into your, so with this, for instance, it's Carnival, you go into your account with Carnival to show your cruise, you will see that in this case, $50 has been added as onboard credit into your account to use, and that's US on your cruise.
Amazing. Amazing. And Di has just asked a really great question. Can we use our cruise voucher? So that's a really great question, Di. So for everybody who's not a member, so once you have been a member of Dream Trips for 6 months, you actually get a free cruise voucher up to the value of $1,000 USD for 2 people. And so once you hit that 6-month anniversary, and remember right now you can join for $1. And even if you picked our basic membership at $70 a month, after 6 months, you'll have paid $351, but you get a $1,000 cruise voucher, which is really exciting. Now, as soon as those cruise vouchers come available, you'll actually get a link into your own special cruise voucher portal. And there are cruises all over the world that you can choose from. So that one may be there. You'll just have to wait until you get your voucher when your 6 months is up. To see what cruises that you can redeem those on. So Trace, thank you so much. Beautiful. Love.
Oh, you're welcome.
Our portal and all of your knowledge, which is amazing. So we've got a couple of minutes before we wrap up, everybody. So one of the things that we have people, often say when they jump on our Travel Tuesday or when they learn about our membership, they say, well, that all sounds amazing, but I still don't have enough time or money to be able to do those trips. And that sucks, right? So here's the thing. It all starts with the dream. And if you aim at nothing, you're guaranteed to hit it. So that's why we love these calls on Travel Tuesday, to actually get you excited about traveling and to start dreaming about traveling. And then the next step is to say, well, how can I actually make that happen? And if you don't do anything, if nothing changes, well, nothing's going to change. And with the cost of living going up, there are a lot of people who are struggling, and travel is not cheap, especially when you do dream trips. So what we suggest is that you set up a holiday savings account, because if you start putting money across every single week into your holiday savings account and you start seeing it grow, then of course it's more likely that you're going to be able to then enjoy some of these incredible trips. But the other side of it, and this isn't for everybody, you can actually join our club. When you join the club, you get 3 times back your membership in that member loyalty credit. But there are a few of us who are online tonight who've also chosen to become a DreamTrips ambassador. And when you become a DreamTrips ambassador, then you can actually get paid to share this concept with others. Now, that's not for everyone. There are no promises. Most people just get started with us to enjoy the incredible travel membership. And when you travel as a dream tripper, it's very different to when you travel just as a, standalone. But if you would like some more information on how to join the membership or how to get paid as an ambassador, then please get back to the person who invited you to come along on our call tonight. And every single Tuesday night, we do these Travel Tuesdays. So feel free to invite your family and friends to the next one. And we do record these calls as well. So we will make sure that we get the link to the recording inside of our travel group. Or if you're a guest, just ask the person who invited you and they'll make sure to get you the link as well. So guys, thank you so much for joining us. Please pop in the comments, what was the #1 thing that you loved the most about our Travel Tuesday tonight? And of course, let us know if there's anything specific that you would love for us to cover on Travel Tuesday next week. So thank you everybody for joining us. We love you guys. We appreciate you. As you can tell, for us, it's not work. We absolutely love what we do. We love checking off our bucket list, but what makes us even more happy and excited, and what makes my heart sing, is to actually help other people to check off their bucket list and to actually make their dreams come true as well.
Absolutely.
Yay. All right. Well, a huge happy holiday high five to you all. And we will see you all somewhere on a dream trip, somewhere in the world. And oh my goodness, we have an important man who's just jumped on, which means we need to kick everybody else off so we can plan our trip to Punta Cana. All right, guys, thanks for jumping on. Good night.